Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wake Up Report. Before we get on with today's show, I have to address my Zoe Saldana, Nina Simone controversy. As you know, last show, I selected Macy Gray as my number one pick to portray Nina Simone, mainly because, number one, she can sing. Number two, I thought she looked somewhat similar. You know, it didn't have to be dead on perfect, but I thought that a singer could bring more depth to the role. More so than anything else, but I was, as matter of factly, corrected by the Whiz Boy, who tuned in. And Whiz Boy, thank you for listening to the show, and thank you for the comment. But the Whiz Boy, Macy Gray, nope, not even close, no way, Jose. He said Adepero Aduye would have knocked it out of the park. So I went and got a closer look at Adepero Aduye, and Jesus Louise, this woman looks like Nina Simone all the way down to her friggin' teeth. She is a dead ringer. The resemblance is actually scary. Miss Adepero, you got ripped off. You know, as Malcolm X used to say, boy, you got bamboozled, hoodwinked, flim-flammed. Oh, woman, you've been had. How was this woman not the absolute first choice? If there was any talk of a Nina Simone biopic, that this woman should have been at the absolute top of the list. So I completely stand corrected. I mean, she's a dead ringer for Nina Simone. My gosh, boy, was this movie miscast. You know, Zoe, you'd have been better as an executive producer or something like that, man. But yeah, hey, absolutely, man. The Whiz Boy, not only did he say she would have knocked it out of the park, she'd have knocked it out of the atmosphere of the planet, of the ozone, of the galaxy, or whatever, man. Just the resemblance is absolutely scary. So, with that being said, the Whiz Boy is now taking over casting for any upcoming biopics. KTM has been effectively fired, but never mind that. I got a job with Bob Johnson's production company, and we are happy to announce that we're going to be doing a Malcolm X biopic, and keeping in the spirit of Bob Johnson's statement that it doesn't matter what you look like as long as the performance is good. We will be casting to portray Malcolm X none other than Meryl Streep. All right, then. So with that being said, let's get on with today's show. Did Miko Grimes get her husband booted from the NFL? The short answer is yes. As you know, Miko Grimes' husband, Brent Grimes, was released by the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins cited age. Number two, by releasing Mr. Grimes, they would free up an additional somewhere in the neighborhood of about $6 million under the salary cap. I don't buy that for 1 minute, because if you were worried about money, you wouldn't have signed Ndamukong Suh to that monstrous deal that you signed him to, only for him to be just as ineffective in Miami as he was in Detroit. He built Detroit, the Detroit Lions, out all that money, and now he's doing the same thing with the Miami Dolphins. So if you wanted to do anything by way of salary cap money and dead money, you should have cut this guy's salary by 2/3. From what I've been hearing, the Dolphins have restructured Suh's deal, but come on, man, a little bit over $6 million or so. That's the reason that you cite. Nah, I don't believe that for a minute. What I do believe, though, the Miami Dolphins favored Byron Maxwell over Brent Grimes, and I guess they figured that for cornerback they'd bring him in, and Grimes was out. But the overall consensus is that the reason that Brent Grimes was booted from Miami is because of his loud-mouthed, ghetto-ass, hood rat wife, Miko Grimes. As you know, Miko Grimes was at the center of some controversy last season when she was arrested for drunken and disorderly and headbutting a police officer at the Sun Life Stadium in Miami during a Dolphins game. The woman, needless to say, she was a Class A embarrassment then, and she's still an embarrassment now. Miko Grimes is one of those kind of Twitter people who she attacks any and everybody. She attacks coaches. She attacks the NFL. She attacks players. She attacks fans. She attacks anybody according to their I guess criticism of her husband or her. And I guess the Dolphins had enough, man. They said, listen, we're not going to have this hood rat bad-mouthing our organization, let alone bad-mouthing the NFL the way she does. So you can take your wife elsewhere. We don't need the drama. It's just not worth it to us. Now, Mr. Grimes' unemployment did not last too long, because it has been reported that he has signed a $16.5 million deal with the Bucks. So that will, at $8 million though, that was the most he ever made, when he was a Miami Dolphin. So the 16.5, a 2-year deal, will keep some change in his pocket. But I guess it's safe to say, he's on his way out as a football player, man. I mean, you figure, what, 33? I guess for sports, man, it's like dog years for athletes, man. You figure 33, you could at least play until you, I don't know what, 39, 40, I guess. But I guess the wear and tear that they put on their bodies, is just above and beyond what normal people do. So, so he did land on his feet, but dude, you got to get your woman in check. You got to kind of lay down some rules, Now, I believe Ms. Grimes has deleted her Twitter account, which probably won't last long. She will not be able to resist the temptation. This is yet another example, and I know people kind of, get on me about, well, it ain't just black people, and it ain't, you always got to make stuff black stuff and everything like this. But I'm telling you, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again, and it is the absolute truth. Black people have a particular talent for niggifying everything that they come into contact with. I don't care what anybody says. Find me a white athlete from the NFL and find me his wife or his girlfriend cursing people out on Twitter, telling people to eat dicks on Twitter, doing all kind of hood rat shit on Twitter, headbutting police officers, getting arrested, and basically being an overall embarrassment to their husbands, to the sport that they represent, and to themselves. When you can find me a white wife or girlfriend doing that, then I can shut the hell up and I won't have anything to say about it. But it's not going to happen, because white folks, like it or not, they have a particular standard. Sometimes it might be a facade. White people can be as savage as anybody else, but at least when you go to a suburban white neighborhood, there could be all kinds. The Bashara case in Michigan is a perfect example. You got somebody down in basements with whips and chains and sadomasochism and all kinds of murder and all kinds of mess. But they keep their lawns clean. They keep the garbage off of the streets. They keep their houses well kept. They keep their taxes paid. They keep all the facade up, in order to keep you from knowing how savage and how, I don't know, what's hood rat for white folks. And trailer park trash, how trailer park trashy they are. Black folks have a particular talent for ghettoifying and niggifying everything that they come in contact with, i.e. Cam Newton. That is one of the reasons people get on Cam Newton. All the dancing and chucking and jiving and showboat and all that kind of stuff. You bring the quarterback level down to this hood rat. Just, it's some stuff we just need to keep in the streets. And I do recall that it was the NBA that had to force the players to wear suits and ties after the games for the post-game interviews, because they were sick and tired of grown-ass men that were representing the league by walking around with their pants hanging off their asses, making millions of dollars, and didn't have the good sense God gave a billy goat to go to the store and buy a belt. You don't need to be juking and shiving and jucking all the time. You don't need to be doing all that crap all the time. And you don't need, especially to be a woman. Now, I thought, because Grimes is 33, I thought his wife was around the same age or maybe a little younger. She to me about 29, 31. This woman is 40 years old, acting the way she acts. And it absolutely makes no sense. She might be a good cook, though, because, whatever it is she's cooking in that pan right there, you may do better as a cook somewhere, or get a job like Gordon Ramsay. Have your own cooking show or something. You cuss out anybody you want. To be 40 years old and acting like this is absolutely ridiculous. Mr. Grimes, wherever you go, and I guess the Bucks have given you a pass and saying, yeah, we'll take you, we can use you, but you better keep that mouth of yours under check. You better keep that ball and chain of yours under check, because we ain't going to have nobody badmouthing our organization the way this woman is known to badmouth people's organizations. Get some balls and do something about your hood rat chick. But wait a minute. You might not have the balls in your relationship, because it's quite obvious she has the balls in the relationship. So we don't know how this is going to turn out. All we do know is that Miami is done with Miko Grimes. She is now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers problem. And I guess next season we will find out if she'll be headbutting Tampa Bay Buccaneer police officers in the near future when it comes to representing her husband and the NFL. And fellas, one of the most important lessons we can learn from this is No matter how hard you try, no matter how hard you might want it, no matter how hard she might make it. Leave the strippers in the strip club, leave the hoes on the street, because no matter how much you try, do or die, you cannot turn a hood rat into a housewife. This is KTM in the Wake Up Report saying think a little bit. It will do wonders for you.